take your coffee break with me. Come and take your coffee break with me. Come and take your coffee. Come and take your coffee. Come and take your coffee break with me.
So hello and welcome back to Coffee Break with Candace. We're so glad you're here today. I have another incredible guest, and I'm going to ask her to introduce herself and tell us more.
Perfect. Candace, thank you so much for having me, and thanks to all of you for taking the time out of your day to check us out. My name is Gabby Payne, and I am a serial entrepreneur, I guess you can say. I own a marketing and branding agency called The Boss Blueprint, and I'm also starting my second endeavor called The Boss Haven, which is something I really created for the ambitious woman of today who has her hands in a million different places. But what I really want for me, for us, for that woman is for her to find like happiness in both success and wholeness. You know, I want us to have it all. And so that's really where the Boss Haven came from, because I wanted women to create their own haven. And I feel like your physical space is super, super important. And so we've created a suite of products, or we're going to create a suite of products. Our first being the morning routine journal. And really the purpose of it is to help you document all the wonderful things you're doing, but also leave some room for you to treat yourself well, take care of yourself, and really just do what's best for you holistically.
Fantastic. So first of all, you said you're a serial entrepreneur. So tell us a little more about that.
So a serial entrepreneur is basically a person who starts several business endeavors. It just means that you have more than one business, and with the anticipation that as your businesses grow and thrive, you'll continue to create more. And so for the future, I definitely see myself, you know, being on board of directors and being an investor in several other small businesses that started out like myself. And so, yes, I consider myself a serial entrepreneur.
Oh, that's amazing. And did you always know that you wanted to be an entrepreneur? Tell us a little bit more about how you got to this part of your journey.
Wow. So when I was younger, I literally went through so many different career types. I was the person who didn't know what they wanted to do, really. I mean, I think I wanted to be an actress, and then I said I wanted to be a lawyer. Then I said I was going to work for the UN. I mean, I said I was going to do a lot of things, but I think one thing that all of my dreams, if you will, had in common was that it was really all about like dreaming bigger. Like I never just wanted to work in an office. I never just wanted to do anything. So I found an old journal of mine when I was 8 years old, and I wrote that by the time I turned 32, I wanted to work for myself. And so I actually—
At 8 years old?
At 8 years old, I wrote down by the time I turned 32, I wanted to work for myself. I am now 28. Is that right? I'm 28. And last year I left my full-time job to work for myself. And it was just funny because I came across it like kind of last minute. But me becoming an entrepreneur was more about just wanting to own my own time, to be honest. I felt like the structure of like the 9-to-5 just didn't work for me. It just didn't fit. And I don't say that to like encourage anyone to just go quit their job, because it was very planned out and strategic. But for me, it was what was best for me, knowing who I am.
Absolutely. But that's amazing. So are your parents entrepreneurs? Like, do you know where that spirit, manifested or came from?
Yeah, so I feel like my parents always had like several streams of income. Like they taught me to hustle, I think. And so I got that from them. But I actually found out in conversations with my grandfather, and this is why I think, you know, when you have your elders around, you definitely need to tap into that, because it's so empowering to know that other people before you have businesses. Like, I know my dad had a business for a short time, but it was more of a side hustle. My great uncle, he had a floral business. He was a musician, and he also was a magician. So he had a few businesses.
Wow.
And even one generation back, I had an uncle, a great great uncle, who had an ice and coal business. And there was also a gas station in my family at one point in time. And so it's definitely in my blood, you know, historically it's in my blood. But I think my mission, or like my purpose at this point in my life, is to really, I guess, make sure this one is generational. Because one thing that I can't sleep at night over, you know, they say, what's the one thing that keeps you up at night?
Sure.
Why did all of those businesses not get passed down? And I think like that is really the generational wealth gap. It's like just making sure you have all your papers and documents in place, you know, for when that time comes, because no one knows when that day is going to be. But really setting your business up, not just for you, but thinking about the people who come after you.
That's incredible. Absolutely. So let me ask you this about the Boss. It's the Boss Haven, correct? Like, so how did that come into being?
Oh my goodness. So the Boss
Because
Haven,
remember, you're only 28. I'm just, I mean, which is amazing. You know, doing all these different things.
Haven is actually something that came to me because I knew I always had this love for like fashion and trends and things. And I'm a very creative person. I've studied at least probably 5 to 6 forms of dance. Like, I'm just really into the arts as a whole. And so for me, interior decor came in as something that I really, really enjoyed. And then I would say maybe 3 years ago, I had this idea to create the morning routine journal. And I would kind of I felt like it was too small. You know, sometimes I think when we get an idea, we kind of talk ourselves out of it. Like, I felt like, well, nobody's gonna want this journal from me. Like, who cares about how I journal or the prompts I use? Like, this was like the kind of self-talk, that negative self-talk that was happening. And so I sat on it and I sat on it for another 2 years. So during COVID, I actually said, you know what, I'm going to start putting this journal together. I'm going to stop procrastinating. I'm not going to wait anymore. And so I did it. And where it all came from was, I am not a morning person. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. And so I accept that about myself, and nor am I trying to become a morning person. I didn't want to become a morning person. I wanted to become a person that appreciated mornings, because I feel like mornings rule your day. Sure. And so I created this routine, and over years I refined it. I mean, I looked up, what does Oprah do in the mornings? What does, I can't remember, he's on Shark Tank. I think his name is Mark. What does he do in the mornings? What does Steve Jobs do in the mornings? Like, I took all the habits of millionaires and people who we look up to, and I said, okay, well, she does this, so let me start doing this. And over time, it became this journaling process that I did every single morning. And so I got tired of buying notebooks, and I was just like, I'm just gonna put it together and make one for myself. And so then it became this whole project. And so now we're here, and we're in the pre-order phase of launching the Boss Haven's first product, which is the morning routine journal.
Wow. So can you tell us a little more about the journal? Do you have a copy of it you can show us?
Yes. So here is the morning routine journal. It is literally my pride and joy. It's absolutely gorgeous. I tell people, like, even if you don't journal, like, you could just put this on your coffee table, and it's a great conversation piece, because I talk about so many things that I think a lot of us are facing. So when you start the journal, I really just tell you about my story, about why I started journaling, about why mornings are so important to me. I walk you through my morning routine. And I talk through things like gratitude, intention, setting your intention for the day,
Mhm.
having a scripture that supports your intention, which is super, super big for me because I can say whatever I want, but it makes it so much better when I see a scripture or a quote or something that someone else says that supports it. We go through, you do your prayer list, you write down all the things that you want, you do your affirmations, and then finally we do goal setting because we all know that no matter how much you wish for it, you got to do a little work for it. So that's really the morning routine journal in a nutshell.
Oh, that's incredible. Wow. And then what can you tell us more about some of the other products you're working on for the Boss Haven?
Sure. So my partner is actually, she has her background in construction management. So one of the services that we're currently offering is interior design for office spaces. And so whether that's your home office or corporate office space, that's really the market that we're working to corner. Like I said, that's her end of the business. And my end of the business is in the things like the stationery, the decor. One of the things that we really want to do is we want to bring awareness to historical figures that really people don't know about, but made a great impact on society. So in the journal, you'll see a lot of quotes and things. What we also want to do is we want to figure out ways to incorporate those people and their quotes into decor, like pillows and things of that nature.
Oh, nice.
But there's no rush. What we really want is for our customers to help us build the business. So probably what's going to be the most immediate will be a travel size version of the morning routine journal modified for when you're on vacation. Because when I'm on vacation, I'm not thinking about what I'm accomplishing next. I'm just trying to revel in the moment. And so I really want to create something that that really gives that effect as well.
Sure.
But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what the people say. We're waiting to hear what they think and what they want because that's really, really important to us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So how did you and your business partner meet and decide to
We
put this together?
met in high school, actually. So we've
Oh,
been friends since high school. This particular friend is the friend that I can call and say, "You trying to go to Iceland next week?" You know, this is that friend. Our birthdays are maybe like a week apart, and we just are often so much on the same wavelength. And a while back, she was trying to launch her home decor business, but a lot of things got in the way. And so when I came up with this idea, I was just like, I definitely want a partner because I'm still very heavy into my design agency. So I was just like, okay, who would be a great partner? And it kind of just clicked when I told her about it. And she said, I definitely want to be involved. And that's where we are now. And the best thing I think about our partnership is we're two women, two Black women in the decor space, specifically for offices. And I think that is going to be so different, especially when we move into furniture, because it's a very male dominated space, like the manufacturing side of it. And so we're definitely looking to understand how we can own as much of the supply chain as possible. So it's going to be an interesting ride, but to be honest, I'm just taking it one step at a time.
oh, that's incredible. It's exciting to see you doing all the things that you're doing. And it just sounds like you're, fearless, like you're going for it. It's amazing to see. I love it. I love it. And it's
Thank
inspiring. Absolutely. And I know one thing you had mentioned in your bio, and we discussed briefly, you talked about, your, the importance of mental health and also not feeling the need to do it all yourself.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I'd love to hear you share about that as well.
Yeah, so I will say I used to be what I call a queen bee. Be everything, be everywhere, be everyone for everyone. That used to be me, And I felt like I think for a long time because I was so, I would say intelligent based on the definition of intelligence we're taught in school, right? Because I was just had a knack for that. People really appreciated that part of me. And so as I grew up, I learned, or I was taught, that I'm good because of what I bring to the table, because of the things I do. And so I was really burying my self-worth in the work I produced. And so as I got older, started going to my therapist, I really started to just dig deep and figure out, like, okay, how can I still be amazing and intelligent and all these other things, but be happy at the same time? Because I think at one point I realized a lot of people that I had around me in my circle were there not to support and love on me, but really were there like with a handout. And I felt like I needed more people around me who would pour into me and really engage in more like healthy, reciprocal relationships. And so for me, it's really just about realizing that you are more than what you do. And I feel like so many women feel like their value is like tied to what you do for people. You know, if you clean the house enough, you know, then you're worthy. If you cook the right way, then you're worthy. You know, these are like the messages that have been ingrained in us. And I just want us to know, like, just you doing nothing and you're still worthy. Like, that was really, I think, the light bulb that clicked for me. And then it took time for me to change like what I was doing on a daily basis to make sure I was aligning with what my new belief system was.
That's incredible. Wow. And do you have anything else you would like to share?
Yeah, I think I always love to share like how much help I have, right? Because a lot of people are like, how do you do this all this stuff by yourself? I just ordered a HelloFresh box. I don't have to worry about portion sizes and everything. You know, I'm working on getting a maid service. Like, you guys, I really just want women to know, like, there is nothing glorious about like doing everything for everybody and doing nothing for you. And that could be so simple. It could be like, you know, having your tea for the day, getting a moment to watch a throwback rom-com movie. You know, those are my favorites. My favorites, Love Jones, by the way.
Great movie.
It's such an excellent movie. I love that movie. But I just really want women to know that you're more than what you do, and never forget to be very intentional and very audacious about like doing what's right for you. Like, that's what I'm really passionate about, is seeing women bold enough, brave enough, courageous enough to say, I'm tired and I need help. Like, I think that's the strongest thing that a woman can do today, when everyone is supposed to be putting on like a brave front that they've got it all together. Like, none of us have it all together. None of us. And I just think the more we realize that, the more interconnected we become and the more we can help support each other.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. That's just incredible. And thank you for that reminder, because we do need to be reminded that, you know, we can't do it all and it's okay.
Right.
So, any final words?
Final words. Well, first things first, if you are a girl that loves journaling, if you really are looking for a wellness practice that ties in your goals, because we believe in both success and tranquility. We believe you can have both. And honestly, guys, like I said, really just take some time, even if it's just today, go take a walk, go do something just for you, and be comfortable about doing something just for you, and know that you have earned it just by being who you are.
That's so good. So what I'm going to ask you to do, I had initially planned to give you a quote and a clue and have you guess who said that, But you said during this conversation that you have multiple quotes throughout your morning routine journal, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So what I would love to do is have you read one of your favorite quotes, and I'll donate, to the charity of your choice. I'll donate a modest amount. So
Okay, let me see.
just put you on the spot.
Yes, I'm looking through and I'm like, which one? Okay, I think I'm gonna pick this one. Do you want to guess the person?
I'll try to guess. Sure.
I was gonna say some of them are popular people.
Okay.
But some of them, are people that people may not know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is a hard choice.
Yeah.
These quotes are good. Okay.
I love it.
They really are. They really are. Okay, we'll do this one.
Okay.
If you want to be successful, you have to jump. There's no way around it. If you're safe, you'll never soar.
Oh my goodness, I love that. But I deserve a clue.
I'm trying to give a clue without it being too easy. Okay. Back in the day.
And what does back in the day mean to you, first of all?
Back in the 90s.
Okay. Okay.
Back in the 90s, this man had a TV show where he was a music teacher, and I believe he played the sax. And now this guy is like doing everything from radio to movies to daytime TV.
Really? And he had a show in the 90s where he was a music teacher and played sax?
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea who that is. Just give me a moment. Like, that is so interesting. And it's not Kevin Hart, right?
No, this is way before him.
Okay.
This is before anybody knew who Kevin Hart was.
Okay. Huh. Okay, you're gonna have to tell me who it is.
Steve Harvey. The Steve Harvey Show.
Yeah, I didn't know he played sax in his show.
He didn't actually play. He had someone who was playing.
Okay.
And pretended to be him.
Gotcha.
But on the intro, it was the sax playing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I still wasn't going to get that right. So I'm like, who is that? But yes, I remember Steve Harvey, that show. So because Cedric the Entertainer was on there as well. So, and I really liked him. So anyway, having said that, regardless, I'm still going to donate a modest amount to the charity of your choice. Tell us what charity you'd like me to donate to.
I would probably say, this is hard right now. So many people are in need. I'll probably send it out to, I don't know what it's called exactly. I know there's several of them, but any HBCU fund. Definitely want to support them.
Okay. That's too easy. I could pick one.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a few of them, but
I will absolutely do that. All right. Well, Gabby, this has been wonderful and inspiring and fun. And I've never done my segment, Who Said That, where I had to answer. And obviously it is harder than I realized. And so, much better when you're the person giving the quote instead of receiving the quote and having to guess, but that's fine. But this has been this has been amazing and also a lot of fun and inspiring and I wish you all the best and continued success. So exciting.
I appreciate you for having me, and thank you to everyone who is watching. And I really hope that you took something away from this that can really just change the way you're doing things for the better. Absolutely. Absolutely. I know I did already. And so what's the website? payneconsulting.co/The Haven. And on that webpage, you'll have all the information about the journal, about how we got started. I'm excited. So we are too. We really are. So thank you again, and come back anytime, Gabby. Will do.
Hi guys, it's Aisha Creary here with Crave Counseling, and I'm coming back to you guys with another mental health segment for Coffee Break with Candace. So one of the things that I really wanted to talk about today was to touch on how to deal with anxious thoughts. So one of the first things you can do is, first of all, identify what your triggers are. What causes you to go down anxious ridden moments, whether it's anxious thoughts, anxious feelings, whether it's somatic anxious symptoms where increased heart rate, you instantly start sweating, however you experience your anxiety. It's really, really important to highlight what are your triggers. So would your triggers include the way someone looks at you? Would your triggers include a statement that someone may say? Would your triggers include not feeling smart enough to be in the room? Like, what are your triggers? And trying to figure out when you may be triggered to have these moments. So once you know your triggers, the next thing is come up with tools that work best for you. So one thing that you can do is challenge your thoughts. So what that means is asking yourself, like, how likely is it for this thing to happen, reoccur, or how likely is it for this thing to happen exactly like it did the last time? The next thing you can actually do is to find the rainbow. So this is something that you can do when you're in a room. Let's say you have social anxiety and you have all of these people and you're not sure how to engage with other people, or you feel like people are staring at you. Find the rainbow. So the acronyms for a rainbow is Roy G. Biv. And so what you do is you find red in the room, you find orange, you find yellow, you find green, you find blue, you find indigo, and you find violet. So when you're doing that, it's forcing you, one, to remember the colors in the correct order, and two, it forces you to take your thoughts off of whatever is causing you to be anxious and focus on something that's a little bit more calming, such as colors. So that's another thing that you can do. You can also take a break from the situation. So if you're in a situation and it's causing you to be more anxious, there's nothing wrong with you saying, hey, I'm gonna step away and go to the restroom really quick. Or, hey, I'll be back. I'm gonna take a call. Let me check on something, right? Like, you don't have to sit in moments that cause you anxious.
Come and take your coffee break with me. Come and take your coffee break with me. Come and take your coffee. Come and take your coffee. Come and take your coffee break with me.